Okay, this is the start of the design and measurement unit. This unit's going to be a little different than the other units because we're not going to have a final test. There will be content from here on the final exam, but all of your assignments for this unit will be counted for marks. And I'll explain that as we go. There are only 3 lessons, and really the 3 lessons are probably a review for the most part. If you look at lesson 1, perimeter area and unit conversions, most of this should be pretty simple. I think you know how to find perimeter. Perimeter is the distance around the shape. If there's any formulas that you need, although I don't think you need formulas for perimeter, you might want this one on your formula sheet. Again, area, maybe some of these are a little bit tricky for area. It's up to you what you want to put on there. But any area or perimeter question is something that could be on our test, or sorry, our final exam. As well, there's converting. Converting units was a big part of the grade 10 unit. And I think most of you probably remember that you use proportions to solve these. Okay, so I'll do some examples in a minute. The tricky ones, if you remember, were the square units. Okay, for example, we know that 10 millimeters is 1 centimeter. So if we use this, and let's say it said, 53 millimeters is how many centimeters, you would set up that ratio where you know that 10 millimeters equals 1 centimeter. And then we have 53 millimeters, and we would want to know how many centimeters is that. We would be cross-multiplying. And that's a question that you should remember how to do. But now we're going to just emphasize a little bit, maybe the part that was the trickiest, and that's where you have square centimeters and square millimeters. Okay, if we understand that 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter is the same as 10 millimeters times 10 millimeters, then 1 square centimeter, so 1 times 1, is the same as 10 times 10, which is 100 millimeters squared. Okay? The same sort of process goes for cube. If we have a cubic centimeter, so this is 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, and we know that every centimeter is the same as 10 millimeters, then we could say that 1 cubic centimeter is 10 times 10 times 10, which is 1,000 cubic millimeters. Okay? Let's look at a yard. If we have 1 yard by 1 yard, and we know that there are 3 feet in a yard, so that's 3 feet times 3 feet. We can say that 1 square yard, because 1 times 1, is the same as 9 feet squared. Okay, and similarly, if we take a cubic yard, say 1 yard by 1 yard by 1 yard, this is the same as 3 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet. So 1 cubic yard is actually 27 cubic feet. Okay, so I don't know if you need any of these on your cheat sheet. Generally speaking, if there is a conversion you need, it will be on the test or exam, but this won't be. These conversions of square and cubic won't be, because you're supposed to understand how those are determined. Okay, so let's take a look at a few questions, see what you're going to have to be able to do. So it says Sarah would like new flooring and baseboards in her living room. Sarah would like to install the new baseboards around the perimeter of the room. So there's new baseboards that are going to go all the way around this room. So what is the perimeter of this shape? Okay, well, perimeter is the distance around. So let's add up 12 plus 7 plus 8 plus 3.5 plus these two distances. What are they? Okay, well, if we think that the entire length from here to here is 12, and we know that from here to here is only 8, does it make sense that this distance here, where this x is, has to be 4? Okay, so I'm going to add 4. And then, what is this other x? Well, you know that from here to here is 7, and then this little bit is 3.5. That tells me that x is 10.5. Just get rid of some of this for the next question. Okay, so we found out this was 4, we found out this was 10.5. So the perimeter is, let's add this up, 19, 27, 30, 25, 45, and what is it? What is the dimension? Feet. The perimeter is 45 feet, so that's A. B says the baseboards cost $4. You understand what baseboards are, right? They're those boards that go along the edge of the room. Most of the time they're wood. A lot of times now they're white. In our classroom they're black. They're that thin strip that kind of hides the space between the floor and the wall. Okay, and it says that the baseboards cost $4 per foot. So if we have 45 feet times $4, this will be $180 it would cost us to buy baseboards. Okay, now flooring's a little trickier. How many square feet of flooring will she need? So we don't have a formula for a shape like this, but we do have a formula for shape of a rectangle. So we're going to find these two areas. We'll call them area 1 and area 2. Area 1, length times width, 7 times 8, which is 56. Area 2 is 4 times 10.5, which is 42. So the area is 98 feet square. The question says, how many square inches will she need? So we need to change 98 square feet to square inches. So what we need to do is figure out 1 square foot. How many square inches is that? Well, you remember that there were 12 inches in a foot, and inches you just use those two little lines, kind of quotation marks. So that means 1 foot squared would be 12 times 12, which is 144 inches squared. Okay, so now you know the ratio for square feet. This means 1 foot square is 144 inches square, and we have 98 feet squared. So we need to find out what x is. Okay, so you're going to cross multiply. Okay, how do we cross multiply? Well, you're going to go like this. So you get 1x is 14,112 inches squared. Okay, so that's the first question we'll do. There's similar ones like that coming up. Then there's conversions. Let's do a few of them. Let's do the first one. So we know that 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters, and we have 30 centimeters. So we're supposed to figure out how many millimeters it is. Well, if you cross multiply, you end up with 300. Okay, then we also have a formula for 1 meter cubed is how many centimeters cubed. Do you know that? if this is 1 meter cubed, 1, how many centimeters are there in a meter? 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So that means 100 times 100 times 100. So 1 cubic meter is going to be how many cubic centimeters? Well, what's 100 times 100 times 100? It'll be 1, 6 zeros. What number is that? 1 million centimeters cubed. And we're supposed to figure out this. What is x here? So you're going to cross multiply and get 1 million x equals 240. So x is 240 divided by a million. We're going to get 0.0002. Okay. So I'll let you try these. I'll give you the answers for them, but I think you need to be able to do these. You should be able to do them fairly quickly. If you can pause this and try them, and then come back and check your answers. So these are the answers. If you're not sure about them, make sure you're asking. Conversions is not a big deal, but there will be little conversion pieces in every part of the assignments coming up. So make sure that you check those and that you understand them. Okay, another example. One of the original highways is Route 66. Covered 2,448 miles. How many kilometers is this? Well, going back to our conversion here, we have 1 kilometer is 0.6214 miles. 0.6214. So 1 kilometer is 0.6214 miles. Okay, and it says that there are 2,448 miles. So we're supposed to find out x. So let's cross multiply. Get 0.6214x equals 2,448. And then we'll divide by 0.6214. Alright, and this is 3,939 decimal. Let's round it off to 1. And that's kilometers. Okay. So how many kilometers is this? It's 3,939.5 kilometers. Alright, calculate the area. Anytime you have a shape like this, we're going to divide it into parts. So let's divide it right here. We can find this area. We'll divide it right here. So then we can find this area. And then we're going to have this area here. Okay, so 3 parts. How do you find the area of the triangle? The triangle is base times height divided by 2. So we're going to have the base, which is 2.5, times the height, which is 4.4, divided by 2. Okay. This is 5.5, and 5.5 centimeters square. Okay, let's find the area of the centerpiece. So this is going to be base times height. The base in this case, you can see, is 6. And the height is still 4.4. Okay, so we'll do that. 26.4 centimeters squared. And then we have the last shape. area is, well, I can see that it's 2.2 high, but what's the base? What is this distance right here? Okay, well, can you see that this part is 10, and this part is 6, so this must be 4. So the base will be 4, the height will be 2.2, and we get 8.8 centimeters squared. So what is the area? That's right, total area. We'll add each of these up, so 8.8 plus 26.4 plus 5.5 is 40.7 centimeters squared. Okay, and it does ask us to put it into millimeters squared. So let's quickly calculate that. I know that 1 centimeter squared is 100 millimeters squared. And I have 40.7. So to cross multiply, I end up with x is 40.7 times 100. So 4,070. Alright. So the first part of your assignment for this unit is to do assignment 1. You do not need to do all of the questions. I'm going to ask you just to do numbers 1 to 4. Alright. Now, when you finish them, I would like you to hand them in. And I'm pretty good at telling if there's been cheating going on, if there's been copying going on. But let's be honest. I mean, the amount of this assignment is worth it. It's not worth cheating. What you're trying to do is to see if you understand how to do this. I would much prefer if you come and ask me about it, and I will tell you what you're doing right and wrong, and then you can go back and do it again. Okay, I just want you to be able to do this. Please feel free to check, ask, send me a message on Teams, come to my desk. Like, I want you to be able to do these questions correctly. So if you need help along the way, get help along the way. Okay, so that's the first part of the assignment.